All right. Better late than never. We have a very interesting week. Very interesting week. It's been kind of calm, kind of feeling out things, but man, thanks to Fulham, there's going to be a lot of trash talk, a lot of banter tonight, because Fulham owns North London. I mean, yeah, it was a draw, but for them it was like a victory, and for Arsenal it felt like a loss. But we'll get into that. We'll do a couple of big ups for those of you who are in the chat. But we will start with my wonderful co-host, Mr. TJ, to my right. How are you doing, brother?
I am fantastic. That intro, man. Seriously, every single time it just slaps. It's one of the best intros on YouTube, in my opinion. Big up everybody in the chat. This is gonna be a good one. If you had asked me 3 days ago, Mari, how I was feeling, I would say very, very bad. But there have been some things that have happened this week, Mari, that have lightened the load, lightened the blow a little bit, made me smile. At your expense and Stell's expense and Tottenham away's expense, really. And the entire Tottenham fan base, let's be real. But yeah, we're gonna get into that. And I got my a fellow Gooner here, Stefan, and I'm sure your backup will be coming shortly. So I'm excited to get into it.
Ashmatic is coming on in a few minutes. I thought it was 10, so but he will be here. And possibly a surprise pop up from Stella.
I'm hoping we talk enough crap between me and Stefan that it summons Stell like a genie.
Mind you,
DJ, he's gone quiet. Have you noticed last 2 days? Stell's
he's in Cyprus. He's loving the life.
Of course,
the beach.
He's hiding in Greece.
And the women in Cyprus, they look very lovely. I know. I met some Cyprus women 12 years ago in Italy, and I
12 years.
so he is sipping, on that juice and relax, So he's on holiday,
Okay.
But
all right.
Yeah. But we have brother Ash, who's up in the house. If you guys one of the best channels that are out there. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ash and Marlon and Has. That channel comes correct, fair and balanced. One solid Tottenham channels out there, and even the enemy could watch that channel and say, hey, look, these guys are on point. And they just hit that 1K. Guys, support them. Brother Ash, how are you doing? How are you recovering?
Like that, my family. Listen, I did not want to come on YouTube. I didn't want to show my face. I didn't want to talk to no one. I was pissed. I was so in my feelings. I was rattled.com. I said, yo, listen, Mari. Hey, yo. I don't even know if I can come on today. It was that mad.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we're being brave. We're being brave, and it gets worse. It gets worse as I keep looking at Twitter. It keeps getting worse.
I know the gift that keeps on giving. Spurs.
Oh my goodness, we are.
Is it the easiest job on YouTube to be a Spurs content creator because you never run out?
That's true. If you think about it, there's always something. There's always something to talk about. I mean,
we got content for days. We got content.
That's true. I mean, you could do a whole show now. I read that Spurs are interested in Lloyd Kelly. That should be a show. In of itself, guys.
Yo, first I saw Lloyd. I thought it was Lloyd Banks. And you hip hop people. Wait. Why are we signing someone from Bad Boy Records? Lloyd Banks? Wait, hold up. Oh, Lloyd Kelly.
Lloyd Banks.
I thought it was Lloyd Banks, and that's a Lloyd Kelly. I was like, hey, did we? did we just beat these guys the other day? I just saw it the other day. So
Shit.
we're bringing the Lord Kelly into. Hold on.
And he must have impressed him. He must have seen him on the sidelines. So it's just like, yeah. Now that's a player. That's a player that's gonna replace.
You know who would have been,
Pat by 101.
No, it would have been normal if, let's say, because in that game, the Bournemouth left back, Kerkez, was really good. Like, if you had been linked to, even though he moved like 2 weeks ago, but if you had been linked to him and saying, oh, Spurs were impressed with Kerkez, they're scouting him, okay, because he played really well in that game. But Lloyd Kelly, I mean, I don't know.
It's a panic buy. Let me give a little big up to those in the chat. Big up, Big Tone. Big supportive channels. Man, that's my dog. Woo! We got Phil.
We got Cypress.
My brother. We got Richie 063, big time supporter, always supporting us. Everton fan. I just hope. People say, why do you hope Everton stays? I don't know, something about. I have a soft spot for Everton. I don't know why, but I just do. I don't want to see them regulated. I just think it's like saying the sun is not going to come up. I mean, I really respect their fan base. Honestly, I do.
Everton, that's why it's been around for a long time.
No, but guys, do you know which two clubs in the Premier League top flight division have never been relegated?
Arsenal and Everton.
Yeah. So if Everton goes down, it'll be only one club.
There'll be only one.
I mean,
I
know who you guys root for. but those
I hate to say it, they're going down. They're going down.
They are. They're awful. Yeah.
They're bad. Cold Shot is also up in the house. Ian with 007 is also in the house. Mr. Post Office, big up.
Big up, Mr. Post Office.
Also in the house. I gotta give props to Mr. Post Office. His views are, for Arsenal fan, are very fair balance in regards to Tottenham. I will say very, very fair and balanced. I would say. I know him and TJ go at it a lot.
We go at it all the time.
but on the Spurs side, he makes sense most of the time. Big up Graham, Levy out, Edic out. Yes, 100%. We'll get to that. Rattled. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're rattled. Big time. Yeah. Laugh and stop. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I will get to that. Anthony LaFleur, big time. From AC Milan. Yeah, big up. Oh, the group of death. Oh,
yeah. That's gonna be a good group. Wow.
That group is wild. I saw that group. I was like, oh man, you guys lucked out. So Sevilla. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be tough going to Spain.
We have a very
Europa League group.
Yeah, very Europa League group. Did you say you don't want to see Everton regulated or regulated? Both.
Yeah.
So where do we begin? So I begin with this question. Which was worse, Arsenal's draw or Spurs loss to Fulham? Now, I'm gonna give a preface. Now, I'm gonna attempt to show this, but I might lose you. It's been a wild week for me. I don't know what's wrong with my internet. I actually have the cable plugged into it, so it should be super fast. I don't know what's going on with my internet. I know Hurricane just passed through a couple of days ago. I don't know what's going on. So maybe, just maybe, I could pull up this picture. I was ready to roast my Arsenal brothers, roast them real well, roast them real good.
I'm sure.
And definitely, I had the ammunition ready to go, and then all of a sudden, Spurs had it undone, messed that thing up. Let me put. You know what? I can't even pull it up. See, I can't even pull it up. That's how bad my week has been. Well, basically, it was a picture of an Arsenal fan already panicking about this draw that they had. And mind you, it was a very bad draw. I'm going first because psychologically, you want to get off at the gates. You already saw some cracks from lead judges and a couple of other personalities, right?
Yeah.
I said the Arsenal draw was worse coming into Tuesday. It was worse because psychologically, in the Premier League race, you want to catch up with City. It was also worse because it was a 10-man Fulham for the last 10 minutes.
Get it in while you can. Get it in while you can.
And it was at home. And it's just like, come on. Like seriously? At home? Like, really? And so as the fans will argue about Partey playing at right back, what are they doing? Kai Havertz has to have his chance. Don Robbie versus what's his name? So I came in saying Arsenal's draw was worse than Spurs' loss to Fulham. But we'll come back for it. I'll let you guys speak.
Do you want to let Asthmatic take it? Let
Asthmatic take it, but I do have a comeback.
Yeah, because Stefan's gonna absolutely explode. So I'm letting him build up.
Yeah. You know what? It's wild to me because the whole Thomas Partey thing, I wanted to find out myself what that was all about. But you know, you look at Spurs, you look at Arsenal. Arsenal played a full strength team. Fulham played a full strength.
My points.
Oh, sorry. Forget I said that.
No, it's good. Keep saying it.
Because I'm going on to Tottenham. Because listen, the one time we are not in Europe, yeah? We're not in Europe, so we don't have no excuses. And we're in the Carling Cup. I'm sorry, but Barry, I'm sorry. I can't even back it. I'm not meant to be back in Spurs. I can't. Rubai, man, we just folded. We didn't even have the ball. In the first half, we couldn't see the ball. We couldn't touch the ball. We couldn't touch it. Domination, you know? And you know what? It wasn't even full strength. I know, like, granted, they had 4 changes. But still.
6.
Imagine that. Yeah. I stand corrected. I apologize.
Exactly.
6 changes, yeah, to our 9 changes. But regardless, Fulham, first cup game, you need to be taking the cup serious because there's no need to rest players. There's no need to rest anyone. And Fulham came and they handled us like children, child's play, like taking candy from a child, literally. Changed our nappy, gave us some milk, you know. We definitely needed some milk that day, for sure. Second half, I don't really know, like, if we really turned up second half. I think Emerson blasted it over. I'm like, what's Emerson doing? I see, like, Sanchez being Sanchez. I see Ben Davies doing this, getting roasted, getting done. He's got no pace, can't defend, can't attack.
Skip.
A man can't defend. I don't understand. You can't defend. You can't attack. You can't. If you can't play football, leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? If you can't play football, you should just, you know, if you're not MC, you should leave it alone. If you're not a DJ, leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is for me. If you're not a baller, leave it alone. Skip and them, man, they're just not about that life. They're not about that life because the way they didn't want the ball, off the ball, there was no movement. And that was my biggest thing for last season. This season, how many shots did we have? Richarlison was poor, even though he scored. And the only reason we scored was because my man had to change his boots. Deep that. My man had to cheat because literally he had Perisic in his pocket. Perisic had no pace, no trickery, no left, no right. He couldn't beat him for nothing. Yeah. And I was just thinking, oh my days, have I gone back in time? That's what I felt like. I felt like I slept in a time capsule. You know, the one in Back to the Future where man jumps to the car. That's what I felt like I was inside. But yeah, I just, I don't want to go on anymore because I'm reliving the nightmare. me personally, that was an absolute howler. Stinker, lads. Stinker. Absolute stinker. Like, I can't say anymore. Like, a cup game, you get one chance and that's it. And then Sanchez, the penalty. Oh.
It wasn't,
I'm done.
in his defense, Ash, the Sanchez penalty wasn't that bad. Like, it was at least on target. It was kind of in the corner. He still saved it. I get it. But it wasn't as bad as.
What is he doing taking pens in the
Them
first
man
place?
don't
That's
have
on the
good
coach.
rules
That's on the
to even
coach.
step up. Them
Oh,
man
you
don't
mean
do
the best coach ever, Ange Postecoglou? You mean the best manager in the Premier League?
The
That's what I was
visionary.
hearing the last 2 weeks, 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
Go,
No.
Stefan, please.
Okay.
And then I'll take it
Okay. I
back.
cannot wait for this. Okay. So, usually I'm not as, I'm in the actual group chat. I'm not as bad. But after the Fulham draw, I'm sorry, Ash. You're a really nice guy, but I'm gonna have to go in on Spurs fans. After you guys beat Bournemouth, which I thought you played well, but I thought Bournemouth were on top of you for a lot of the game. They had a few. If they were better in the final third, I thought they could have done more. Like, you were pretty open. But in that group chat, just to give you an example, Ash, like, people were saying how we have our Spurs back, how Ange Postecoglou gets the team way more than Conte, how Ange is like this like, forget Pep Guardiola and all the other coaches. He's, this new visionary that's gonna, transition football and Spurs into this glorious generation of I don't know. I thought that, especially still, like, if you watch I watched the Tottenham away stream after that, them taking the piss out of Arsenal for drawing with Fulham and stuff like that. And then after the Bournemouth game, saying that the midfield of Pepe Maresar, Bissouma, and Maddison is potentially top 2 midfield, better than Arsenal's midfield even. So this is what I mean. And then right after that, you lost to Fulham, which, let's be honest, I mean, the fact that you made 9 changes in that game, where the Spurs fan base is desperate for trophies. It needs a trophy. And the League Cup, if you look at it from an outside view, is probably your most realistic chance of a trophy. The fact that he made 9 changes showed that either Ange doesn't care about the cup, or he was forced to make 9 changes, because I actually read a stat earlier that he's made a maximum of 4 changes in any of the other teams he's managed where he's been in cup games. So this was different too. But going back to the question, it is obvious that it's much worse for Spurs, because you're not winning the FA Cup. I mean, unless, I don't know, there's another moon landing or something happens, some sort of miracle happens, you're not winning the FA Cup, because teams take it far more seriously than they do the actual League Cup. So this was your only chance of silverware. I know Ange is a visionary, but you're also not winning the league also. So so this was huge for you guys. For us, I was furious, like TJ was, after the result. But the next day, I actually had to look at the result, looked at the stats, and we were supremely unlucky. Like, we should have won that game by 4 or 5 goals. If we were more clinical in the actual final third, we were supremely unlucky. And so for me, it was, we need to develop, we need to develop that ruthless streak. That was my only kind of conclusion after the next day, when I looked at the stats, when I looked at the game again and stuff like that. So this isn't the end of the world for us. For you guys, you have fans already saying that this is, what's the point of the season anymore? Your season finished in August. There was a joke I remember on Spurs Twitter saying that the Notting Hill Carnival hasn't finished yet, while Spurs' season has finished. So I mean, jokes like this. So I think we've played 3 games in the season. We have 35 left. You don't have any more games left in the League Cup. I mean, this is the first time you've been in round 2 of the League Cup, and you Spursed it up by going out for the first time since 2008. So making fun of Arsenal sometimes, and this is for Stel specifically, isn't the best thing to do. But yeah, that's my point.
Hey, I just, this time last week, I didn't want to come on this show because I was feeling extremely pessimistic about how Arteta is lining up and how he's doing it. And I'm still very pessimistic about that. But and then I was in the same group chat as Stefan was, and I'm in other group chats, and I go on the Perchy TV. I have Spurs fans on my channel routinely, and I'm hearing rock and roll football is back at the lane. Champagne football, everybody, it's back. Attacking football. Ange Postecoglou is Jesus reincarnated. We are back. Spurs are back. Who cares about Harry Kane? Harry Kane, what? Maybe he was the albatross around our neck. Now look at you.
Ange is gonna change everything, TJ.
And you know what? And TJ, you're such a nice guy. You're such a nice Arsenal fan. No, those days are over. You guys are in the mud. I got to hear about it all May, June, July, and half of August about how we bottled the league. The receipts are here, everybody. TJ's no longer the nice Arsenal fan. You guys are done out here. And I am so happy. I'm so happy. It could not have happened to a better lot. You know what? And I am so glad. I am so glad. Thank you for partnering with TJ Warren TV. Make sure you smash a like. Make sure you sub to TJ Warren TV, by the way, and Todd Away, of course. Soccer sessions, the whole nine. Shameless plug. But all I'm saying is guys, look. The amount of Spurs fans that are now putting their freaking Man City shirts back on because the season's over is criminal. You're going to see expressions doing watch-alongs again for Man City because Spurs aren't worth watching anymore. Okay, but a week ago that wasn't the case. So I am rubbing this in. I don't care. You guys beat United. Congratulations. You guys beat Bournemouth. Congratulations. You drew away to Brentford. Congratulations. But you have one less cup.
A brace for Mark.
One realistic cup that you guys could have won this season if you had taken it seriously. And I'm giving you that. I'm giving you guys that. But you didn't.
There.
Prime example. It's embarrassing.
I'll bet you,
It's embarrassing. And now, so to answer the question, sorry, I just had to get that out because I didn't want to come in guns blazing on Spurs Lounge yesterday. I just kind of sat there and smiled. But this
what could it be said? What could it be said that wasn't
this is half my show, so I'm going in. Which was worse, Arsenal draw or Spurs loss to Fulham? Spurs loss to Fulham was way worse because and if you guys think about it, you guys scored on 10-man Fulham. So the finishing above Arsenal Cup is still on. Exactly. That's your Champions League. The North London Derby now for you guys is your Champions League final. And you guys are going to get, and we are going to turn you over. We are going to turn you over. Like Arsenal are going to just.
We're clipping this. I
cannot wait. I cannot wait. Okay?
Oh,
especially if Arteta finally pulls his head out, if he pulls his head out and plays a 2-4-3-1 or a 4-3-3, what he has been playing the entire preseason, I cannot believe it. And Stefan, we're going to get into this. I cannot believe I am calling for Alexander Zinchenko to come back into left back and for us to play an actual back four. I cannot believe I am asking for that. But here we are. So, yeah, you can go ahead and clip that, Mari. It's fine. But you guys are in the mud. And I had to hear about it.
So here's my...
And Zach Gunner, I am not going to stop. I'm never stopping.
I can't wait for the North London Derby. I can't wait.
Really? You can't wait for the Emirates? Where you have a
we are going to turn you guys over.
I can't wait. So here's my comeback. First of all, United, please. Please.
We are not losing to United.
DJ, calm down. Just relax now. Because United play exactly the actual style that they're going to be crap, but you know they're going to have one or two counterattacks where they will cause us problems. We're going to dominate them completely like we always do at the Emirates, and they're going to have that one or two counterattacks with Rashford.
Okay.
So I'm a bit worried.
Okay, so if Stephanie's
right.
telling me to calm down,
Here's my
now
comeback.
I know I've gone overboard.
Here's
So
my
I'm sorry.
comeback.
I will go back.
Here's my comeback. And this is going to be hard for you guys to dissect. All right? Ash, get ready for this.
All right, go for it.
This is why the Arsenal draw was worse than the Spurs loss to Fulham. Number one, like I said, right? It's a psychological hit in the title race. So for you guys drawing and the way you guys drew, because you guys have not been impressive the first 3 games. Any honest Arsenal fan will have to say, man, it hasn't been good. But the very fact the Spurs loss, once again, has been self-inflicted. Self-inflicted. See, it wasn't anybody else. It was us, once again, hurting ourselves. So that's why it's not worse, because we self-inflicted. And everything's nice and rosy.
You guys didn't take
everything was
Fulham
nice and
seriously, and
rosy
you paid
the
for it.
first 3 games. And then Big Ange with big speech. We're going to go win it. Oh, yeah. Raw. He's going all crazy. Yeah, we're going to win it. And then he made 9 changes. Sabotage. Sabotage. Either he's a liar, and you guys see me in the streams, I drilled him. Either he's a liar or it's self-sabotage. And that's why
It's not.
it becomes expected, because we do this all the time. Look at that self-sabotage. We lost Fati yesterday to Brighton. We do this to ourselves, right? It's nobody else. We do it to ourselves. So that's why, right? You follow me here. That's why the Arsenal draw was worse than Spurs lost to Fulham, because we already said that we were going to lose when he made those 9 changes when you saw it. Because that's the first thing that came in my mind. Are we not trying to win this game? Asthmatic. When you saw that lineup, what was the first thing that came? What's the first thing that came in your mind?
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. That's the first
Hey, what's the answer? Bamba right there. We knew we were going to lose.
I saw Foster.
We knew we were going to lose. We knew we were going to lose when we made those 9 changes. Like another Arsenal fan said, we're not Man City to make 9 changes. You already knew we were going to lose. So that's why the Arsenal game, because you guys were like, all right, we're going to win this game. And didn't happen, so it felt like a loss. Whereas with Spurs, we self-sabotage, and yes, we lost an opportunity of winning a trophy, and so that hurts. But once again, it's Spurs stubbing its own toe, and that's why I can't stand Daniel Levy out.
No, I'm sorry, Mari. I'm sorry. You cannot blame Daniel. You cannot blame Daniel Levy.
No. Actually,
did not. Wait.
Actually, I take that back. If you saw me the last 2 nights, TJ will back you. I put the whole blame on Ange. Actually, it wasn't Daniel.
Yeah, you cannot make.
It wasn't. It wasn't Daniel. It's 100% on Ange. Though the bigger picture, it is Levy's fault. But for Tuesday night, that was on Ange. But especially because what he said the day before.
Yeah, but aren't you lied to the fan base. No, but wait. Let's just ask the Spurs fans, CJ. Aren't you more concerned? I'm gonna ask you guys something really interesting. I think that's interesting to me. So if you looked at the previous coaches, Conte and Mourinho, they always acted like they were bigger than Spurs. And you could tell because, for example, just the little things that I would notice, like for example, Ange after every game does an interview with the Spurs channel. Every single game. Conte would only do that after a win. I don't know if you guys noticed. If you lost or didn't play well or got a draw, he would never do that. Aren't you concerned that the answer that he gave after that match?
It was horrible. It was horrible.
But wait. Aren't you concerned that the answers he gave for the 9 changes it was almost as if Levy had written them, like saying that every player, like he needs to see every player that they need to play for it, as if he hasn't watched them in training, that he doesn't know that Davinson Sanchez and Oliver Skip can't play football.
I went in on Edge 100%. That was the worst, and that's why he's lost. The honeymoon is kind of over. He's lost that cachet because everybody's like, wait, you haven't scouted this team for the last 4 years? We could tell you these players are shit. I mean, you don't need to assess. Wait, And if that was the case, why Eric Dyer didn't play? Right? I mean, you had Eric Dyer out the team, right? So what's to need to assess? You had him at preseason.
No, but
Louis but like
then,
that answer was weak. That answer was absolutely weak. You might as well should have been honest, like Conte, like Jose, and say, "Hey, look, you know."
No, but they're not. They're passive aggressive. But what I'm saying is that I would be concerned because after they asked him about transfer at the press conference, and he gave the typical answer that a lot of the Spurs PR always release to the Alistair Golds or to the Spurs journals, which is we have too many players. We need to sell players first, and that's what he also said. So I'm just a bit worried. I'm not worried. I hope. I mean, I'm not gonna hope for your success, but if I was a Spurs fan, I would be a bit concerned that he's following the company line a little bit too much, and he's following it because I think deep down, at the age of 57, the opportunity that he's got at Spurs, the other two coaches, the ones I named previously, they know they've coached bigger clubs than Spurs. They know they can, they have that ego about them. I think he honestly feels now that Spurs is like his golden ticket. And although that's much better and that creates much better vibes in the club, much more unity, that could also be a negative, especially when it comes to decisions and trying to, trying to change the actual culture of the club, trying to make hard decisions and say, you know what? I don't want Eric Dyer the way Arteta did it at Arsenal with Ozil, with Aubameyang. I don't think I honestly I don't think Ange could do that at Spurs. Like say,
I don't know. I'm not too sure because the way he throws out Eric Dyer, like that was a massive statement for me personally. Like he could have still been around, but he's not been in the squad for the last 4 games. So that shows me that he has a bit about him. Like he has, but that was a massive red flag. Like you lot said on Tuesday when he's come out and he said he wants to see these players. If you want to see the players play behind closed doors, like Ten Hag did, you know what I'm saying, and just see those players there. You see what I'm trying to say? If you want to really see don't do it in a cup game, which is a knockout cup game. And before that, you're talking about I like winning. I'd even take winning in a car park serious. Like rare. He's talking all this fight talk, but then when it came to it, he's not showing his mettle. He's not showing his worth. He's going back on his word. So I think that's the biggest problem that Spurs fans had, because then now that trust is slightly broken. Now he looks like he's just, I don't know, being a puppeteer. Like he's almost like he's got the hand up his bum. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Really liked Ange because we thought he's down to earth. He's a real man's man. You know what I'm trying to say? Like someone's uncle, someone's pops. Yeah. You get it? But the way he started saying, I just wanted to see these players. He was better off saying what he just said before. Before he was like, you know what? I'll take full responsibility. I got it wrong. If he had come out and said that,
exactly,
and then would have given him more ratings, like raw. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But the way he was like, he tried to defend his bullshit. But 9 changes make it make sense.
9 changes.
Ash.
Competition. We have to. It's the only. Honestly, and you're right. You're right. We're not going to win the league, but there's only 2 chances that we'll probably have maybe a chance to win a trophy. That's the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. And for me, even if we had lost to a Man City, Chelsea, the quarterfinals around 16, even if we lost in around 16 to say, another Premier League, say Brentford, with our strong 11, okay, it happens. But the very fact that you put 9 players, what are you saying? What message are you trying to say? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not taking this seriously. That's why I kind of made it twisted. Like, the Spurs lost to Fulham. It was when I saw the lineup, I was like, yes, they used to talk about we're going to try and win this game. Whenever it comes, you look at that lineup, it's just like, damn, like.
The club is just up for at all costs, Murray. I'm telling you, bro. Like Sherwood said it. He blew it up. Sherwood said, fuck it. You know what? I'm going to tell the truth. Levy and my man come into my office and they were like, why is Kane starting? Why is Soldado there? Like, for when I heard that, I said, yeah, facts. I know them man Tampa. When it comes to the teams, them man are coming in and they said it. They want top 4. They want, that is their goal. That's their mission. They don't want cups. They don't want to win the league. They just want to get back in the financial.
Where it's do or die. You can experiment with Burnley. We don't have Europe, so you can experiment with Burnley. Like that's why I said it's like
no. But here's the worrying part that I don't know how Levy does it, guys. Like he takes coaches like Conte and Mourinho, who obviously have coached bigger clubs with more politics, with everything, where they have had conflicts with the owners. Like Mourinho is infamous at Real Madrid, how he had conflicts there and stuff. But when they come to Spurs, it's like Levy manages to do like some voodoo charm on them, and they just start to follow. CQ was kind of right, where it's always, if you look at managers at Spurs, if you look at the typical pattern, the first 6 months, maybe not 6, but like 4 to 5 months, it's like a honeymoon period where he follows the actual company line. He talks about the Spurs stadium, how good the facilities are. Then shit hits the fan. He starts to the coach starts to get annoyed at some of the aspects of why is Eric Dyer still here? The players aren't. The coach starts saying. Then year and a half in, Mourinho, Conte, after a few transfer windows, they see the Clement Longleys or the Manor Solomons or stuff like that come in. They realize that like every coach at the end that leaves Spurs, it kind of looks like he's been bamboozled by Levy, that he's been like fed some sort of and it's every dream. Coach. I don't get it. I don't get how he does it. He must be the greatest salesman and marketer in the world, because it's like with Ange, I'm telling you right now, in a year and a half, he's gone. He is gone because he's gonna try and play this. It could be sooner because of his football, because his football is more dangerous in terms of it's more risky because it's more open, it's more attacking. What's going to happen is that it's going to get to the January transfer window again. You're going to take 3 weeks to sign one player like you did last year with Pedro Porro. He's going to get annoyed. Then it's going to come the summer and you're going to get hyped up again. They're going to leak through Alistair Gold that you have a war chest. You always sign 2 or 3 players in the first 2 weeks to hype you up, and then you screw it up in the last 2 weeks, and the coach gets annoyed and the fan base gets annoyed. And then everything goes to pot after that. So I just don't get how coaches agree to this when they see, if it's happened to Conte and Mourinho, how a coach that the biggest position that I've coached in is at Celtic, how am I going to have more leverage than 2 people that had no leverage in the club? So I just get confused as to how, Spurs fans expect a different result when it's the same management team, it's the same structure and everything. Sorry, I went on too long. But
I want to know about Kai Havertz real quick. What are you guys' thoughts? I've never really spoken.
Me and TJ have opposing views, so ask him and then I'll give my answer. Go for it.
We'll go to TJ. Let me read. Thank you, brother. De La Spurs.
Big up De La Spurs.
Ange made the wrong decision. We play Burnley on Saturday, who has ops. Why don't we experiment then? That top 11 is still undefeated. It was stupid shit decision. Hopefully he thinks better. And yes, I'm not
9. Why not 4? Why not 3? Why 9? I don't get it. That's like the whole squad. You might as well change the whole 11. You know what I'm saying?
We're not Ange out. I like Ange.
You can be Ange out. It's one game.
No, yeah. We're not. But some of
your fan base, man. Some of your fan base are already losing their minds.
It's crazy how reactionary.
I'm still Ange in. I'm just more disappointed at him for Tuesday, because we're like, yo, dude, you're supposed to be different. If you believe that Levy told him to do that. But then again, I'm more disappointed because I'm like, dude, you got me all hyped up the day before, saying, oh, okay, and then you do that. Like, that was BS. 100% BS to me. And it's just like now I'm looking at you funny. Like that honeymoon is now over. Now I'm like, okay, let alone this channel, telling them away. If you know, we back every matchup, but we're also very critical, right? Try to be fair and balanced. We don't go cuckoo like some of those other channels is just like, okay, we're winning the league, the Chris Collins or whatever of the world. Like, so, why are you so negative? Well, now Tuesday kind of like, and even Chris Collins went in that Ange.
This was the heading after the Bournemouth game for the most popular Spurs podcast. I just wanted to show you. This is the heading, guys. I'm sorry.
After beating relegation battling AFC Bournemouth.
I'll be real. I know. Listen, I'll be real. You know what it was? Because we were playing so low block, so defensive. I think it was like, oh my days, we're playing attacking football and we're winning. Like the fans couldn't. It was like Christmas. Because me myself, I'm not gonna lie, I actually walked up to Fulham. I actually tried to get to the stadium. That's how gassed I was. I was like, raw. I got to see these boys in my lifetime. I got to try and get in. Like, but luckily, I didn't buy a ticket. I didn't get in. I went home. I watched the game. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
At home. Luckily. But otherwise, I would have got duped. I would have bought a ticket, and look, I'd have been in tears, bro, because it was just a throwback. It was like I went in the DeLorean and I went back in time. It's crazy.
We could give it a different take. Like Fulham are still a Premier League team. You were playing away, which is always a difficult
Premier League team. That made worse.
Okay, but still, like
Premier League team. We're not playing Rochdale FC or Stevenage.
No, but Mario, I'm just saying that this, like, I would say I get it. It's a hysteria because you're out of the cup and stuff, but playing Fulham away in round 2 of the League Cup is very unlucky because there were some super weak teams. Because it wasn't televised. That's how, Chelsea almost lost to Wimbledon. I read the report. Wimbledon could have won that game. Like Chelsea, like until they made changes, putting on Enzo Fernandez and stuff, like Wimbledon were playing better than Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So it could have been, there were other instances where it could have been worse. Just to give like a little more kind of just, Spurs fans need to realize when Arteta in his first season, when we finished 8th and he started to implement these changes, it takes time. The most difficult thing is to create a structure which is sustainable, which you can control the game and you can continuously attack. It took us 2 years to actually do that well. Ange is coming into a team that has played defensive football for 4 years, has no leaders whatsoever. It has a culture that is rotten to the core, including within the squad, where you have players like Eric Dyer who don't get into the matchday squad and then delete everything on Instagram related to Spurs. That's the level of maturity you have from one of your so-called leaders. And the guy who wants to, what did he say? He wants to have his ashes sprayed in the ground. Yeah, we can see that. You really care so much about Spurs. So this is what you need to realize. And what Poch said, I don't rate him that highly as a coach, but he was right. You need a painful rebuild. And until you realize this, because you still haven't realized, all these people, like sometimes subtraction by addition. And Ndombele. Get rid of
by subtraction, you mean?
Oh, we'll get to that because once again, in a transfer, we're loaning FC, meaning that these deadwoods are coming back. But we'll get to that. But Ash posed a question. Big up, DJ Marcus Anthony. Big up. I actually stayed in Stevenage. I almost moved to Rochdale. Actually, I have friends over there in Manchester. Stevenage was one of the towns I stayed before I went to Oxford to visit. Beautiful, nice town. So if you could hook up a brother, yeah, I would gladly rock that jersey. But the question,
there's a lot of red on that jersey. I'd be careful.
A question for TJ and Stefan, posed by Ash, is that okay, what's going on with the whole Havertz experiment? Because you guys were supposed to have the boss midfield of Odegaard, Partey, and Rice. Now you put Partey out in right back. You're forcing Havertz, which I can understand. You pay 65 million, so you kind of got to see if it works. But these first 3 games, not really that working. So what's your opinion, TJ? We'll go to you.
No, and Ash asked the one question that you could ask any Arsenal fan, and they will disagree with the Arsenal fan next to them. I cannot stand Kai Havertz. I thought it was a mistake when we signed him. I thought it was an Arteta ego signing that he thinks he can resurrect Kai Havertz, who is an average footballer at best. You can ask any Chelsea fan. They, when you're talking about Mason Mount and Kai Havertz, they fleeced Man United and Arsenal respectively by getting rid of those 2 players and putting them in the midfield. We are paying 300 bags a week for a passenger. That is my take on Kai Havertz. We literally, and you can watch the games, and you can deliver the stats and deliver the ratings, and the ratings for the first 2 games that he played. 2 games that he played, he got 6s and 7s. That is an average performance. We need, for 300 bags a week and 65 million to a rival, we need more than that. Period. End of story. He is not good enough to shoehorn into the midfield. And I know you're going to disagree with me, Stefan. Just give me a second. To shoehorn in the midfield and get rid of and actually sacrifice one of the best center backs in the league in Gabriel Magalhaes and make him sit on the bench so we can play a false back 3 and say, oh yeah, Partey's at right back. He doesn't spend any time back there. He's inverting into the midfield. We're putting White at the right side of a back 3 with Saliba and Kiwior now. Before it was Tomiyasu, before he saw red. And we're playing freaking 5 people in the midfield. Like it is not acceptable, that the formation that we're putting. And you're seeing the results of it. We are not producing the way we should with the midfield that we have right now. Seriously. So we have easily one of the top midfields in the league, top 3, if not top 2, with Rice, Partey, and Odegaard. Without Havertz, we had one of the best midfields in the league after we completed the Rice move. Yeah. So why are we trying to reinvent the wheel? That's my question. So go ahead, Stefan. No, I don't rate Kai Havertz. I think it's a dead experiment, and I think that it could cost Arteta his job if it doesn't work out.
Before you jump in, Stefan, I just thought, because you got bought Trossard, and I thought Trossard was meant to be that guy, that what Havertz is doing. Like
Trossard was always going to be a backup to Martinelli, in my opinion. I mean, he can slot in there, but I mean, if you're going to play somebody on that left side, play ESR. Why are we not playing Emile Smith-Rowe?
Because
free Emile Smith-Rowe.
Free Emile Smith. Okay. Oh wait, TJ, can I?
No, I'm done.
Oh, you're done. Okay. So I just want to. Last season, if you remember, we started the first 3 games on fire, right? Everybody was raving about the way Arsenal played, how good we looked and stuff like this. So if you compare our first 3 games compared to last season's first 3 games, which the teams that we played were very of similar level. Our first 3 games last year were Crystal Palace, Leicester, and Bournemouth away. We won all those first 3. This season it was Nottingham Forest, Fulham, and what was the third team? Palace. So very similar. So last season, in those games that we started on fire, that we were the best team in the league, everybody kept saying after that, we had 5.28 XG. This season, after the first 3 games, we have 6.12. Last season, we averaged 50.7% possession in those first 3 games. This season, we averaged 68% possession. Last year, we had 22 shots on goal. This year, we have 28. Last year, we had 9 goals. This year, we have 5. We had 2 goals against versus 3 goals against. And our defensive XG against
I didn't watch
was was 1.95. We conceded 1.95 last year. This year we've conceded 1.6. So what does this actually tell you? This year we have far more control in games because it's obvious because the amount of chances they created. We generate more shots. The only thing that we lack compared to last year was being clinical. And if you watch the Fulham game, if you rewatched it, I'm sad and I like pain, so I rewatched the full game again because I was super angry. I was like, this doesn't work and stuff like that. We should have won by 3 or 4 goals. The amount of times we went into their box, we had 68 touches in their box. 68. If we were a little bit more clinical and better in the decision making, everybody shat on Havertz in that game. I thought Martinelli and Saka were the 2 worst players in that game based on the amount of openings they had and the amount of times that they failed to just put in the right ball or make the right decision. But going back to Havertz, as you said, has he been spectacular? No, he hasn't. For the money that we've spent, TJ, you have every right for the salary. However, if you read his stats, they're really not bad. He has won.
That's my point. Is not bad. That if you are saying it's not bad, that means it's not great either.
Yeah, okay. But
he's bang average.
Yeah,
he's bang average.
No, I wouldn't call it bang average. I would call it just good. I wouldn't call it bang average because against Crystal Palace, he had a very good game. Against Nottingham Forest, no. Against Fulham, no. He had a bad game. However, if you look at every player, especially when it comes to the Man City and the Arsenal type of playing, it takes ages. If you looked at John Stones when he first came to City, it took him a year and a half to get used to the actual system. It took Rodri a year and a half to get used. Everybody was saying that Rodri was nowhere near as good as Fernandinho in his first 2 years. So you have to have a little bit of patience, and the reactionary kind of bullshit AFTV style, he's crap after 3 games because he didn't score 4 goals.
Saying that.
Okay, but TJ, I want you to have that same energy for Eddie Nketiah because you shit on Eddie Nketiah, even though
we're not talking about Eddie Nketiah. We're talking about Kai Havertz.
I know we're talking, but your reaction to Kai Havertz, I'm saying you should have the same over-the-top reaction in a positive way towards Eddie Nketiah because Eddie Nketiah was
one of our best players last game in my match reaction.
Yes, but you still don't rate him. While with Havertz, you say he's rubbish after 3 games. How can you say he's rubbish after 3 games?
I've been watching him for 3 years in the Premier League.
You've been watching him in a team that was completely just an absolute dumpster fire where they finished 12th, where nobody cared. They had a separate changing room because their squad was that big. They had 2 changing rooms. And you're telling me that's an accurate representation of the player, where every single attacking player that's been signed at Chelsea since 2020 has been absolute, dog poop. Werner, Pulisic, every single player that came from a club where he was fire, he's mouthed. Everybody has been terrible since they've moved to Chelsea. Mudryk, everybody. But again, when they say the team that won the Champions League, they didn't win the Champions League because of their attacking play. They won the Champions League because they had a really good system and had a really good defense. Just
athletic football. Yeah.
Was Kai Havertz in that team?
He was. He scored the winning goal.
I know. That was a rhetorical question. That's what I'm saying is that the guy was bang average and he's been eating off that Champions League goal for 3 years. He's been stealing a living. And you know what? You can tell me that it's over the top. I don't care. He has not produced. Now you got Will in here checking your stats. Good luck. There goes the show, Mari. Mari, might as well give it. Might as well just end the show now.
I know. I didn't say. Wait. I didn't say on average. I said accumulated XG. So if you looked at the first 3 games compared to the first 3 games this year, our accumulated XG is bigger than last year's. Is more. So I don't know what he's trying to average XG. Okay.
That is true.
I'm sure he will elaborate.
Balling from Milan. He is balling. He is balling. So let's.
I was gonna say, just before you get there, what is it that he actually does? Though? That's what I want to know. Like a simpleton. Like for me, I just want to know what Kai Havertz brings to Arsenal in that team. What does he do? What is his purpose in that squad? What is he bringing different?
Ash, are you asking me or?
Yes. Now, Steph.
Stefan.
In my opinion, just from looking at it, he fits the system far more than Granit Xhaka, because if you look at his off the ball stats, Arteta's biggest thing when he looks at players are their pressing first. That's all. The Pep Guardiola system. He wants his attacking players to be super good at pressing, and Kai Havertz in that is really good. And you could see, because we with him in the squad, we press up far more than with Granit Xhaka. Even though I love Granit Xhaka as a player, you could see that the whole team presses much further up. While with Granit Xhaka at times last year, especially when we played better teams like Man City, Granit Xhaka and Partey would drop back into the 4-2-3-1. And so it would make it far easier for teams to play out from the back and move the ball into our final third. Just look at the possession stats, 60. That is part of the actual system that Havertz has helped. And if you look at his stats, he's won the most duels for Arsenal. I think has one of the most interceptions in the team. So his defensive work is important. I get that we haven't signed him for that. I want him also to score goals and stuff. But I think that will come with time when he gets used to the actual system. And TJ says he's been a bum for 3 years. Yes, he's been a bum for 3 years because he went from Bayer Leverkusen, where he was one of the best young players in Europe, playing in an attacking midfield / number 10 position. They shoved him at number 9 for 3 years. That wasn't his major position.
Let me ask you a quick question. How many goals do you expect as an Arsenal fan from
Kai Havertz?
65 million player?
From a midfielder, because he's mainly an attacking mid, I would expect
the furthest forward. No, Udegaard's the furthest forward, and then it's him.
Yeah, so no, he's like he's a number 8. He's a hybrid. I think he's like a number 8. He's kind of like he reminds me a little bit of the way Aaron Ramsey played for us. Where he makes late runs into the box. I expect for him, for the money, I would say 10 to 15 goals and another 5 to 10.
TJ, Jackie can get 10 goals because he's saying 10 to 15.
I don't think he gets any more than 8.
I mean, last year he got, for a Chelsea side that scored 38 or 39 goals, he scored 9 goals in the Prem. So
if I were to put a $5 bet on it, right?
Ooh,
I would not say, and I'm not saying that. I would, but I don't think he gets over 8 goals in the league. Period.
I mean, I personally trust Arteta. I think pretty much every single big money transfer we've made has worked out. The same people that were saying Fabio Vieira is crap on AFTV after a few performances are now saying, oh, maybe not. Now we can see that he's a good player.
He came off the bench on fire. He was my man of the match, and I crap on that guy all the time.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, sometimes players need a bit more time. Players need, but it's okay. In terms of, Arsenal fans, especially the younger ones, forget that when Henry first came to the club, he didn't score for the first 2 months. But it's so, or Bergkamp was called a flop in his first year. After a year and a half at Arsenal, he was rubbish. So I know they're legends now, but if things had gone sour, then maybe Henry would have never reached this if fans started getting on his back. So in my opinion, I want to give him 15 games. If he doesn't show progress in 15 games, then I'll say, TJ, I'm an idiot. You were right. I should have, but to say that he is crap after 3 games is a joke, in my opinion. It's just, it's ridiculous. You got to give him at least 10, 15 games, at least 10 games. Even 10 is too little. Like even the biggest anti-Arsenal guy, Rio Ferdinand, said, guys, you can't say this about Kai Havertz. And he hates Arsenal. He's like, you got to give him 10 to 15 games at least.
So you're
we don't
saying
have
by
10 to
Christmas.
15 games to wait. That's my problem with this. Is that we don't have, if we are truly going for the league, we need to be firing on all cylinders. And right now, Kai Havertz is not firing.
No, TJ.
We need to drop. We need to drop him.
We need to be firing on all cylinders, not like last season where we were firing on all cylinders from August to December. We need to catch fire like Man City did from March until May. That's what I want to see. I want us to peak at that time. So if Kai Havertz peaks and scores, if he scores 1 or 2 goals now and then peaks in March, April, May and scores 10, 11 goals, great. I want us to peak then. And that's why I think Arteta's changing this system now, where he's playing Partey at right back, even though Partey pretty much, as you said, doesn't play at right back. He plays in midfield. And if you read his stats, ever since he's played at right back, they are better than last season. He has more passes into the final third. He has more interceptions. His due percentage is better. Everything that he does is better from that position. So I'm just shocked at how reactionary people are, like always about, okay, we've won. People are making out this draw with Fulham. I get it. It's bad. We shouldn't have drawn. We should have won. It's 2 wins and a draw. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, Man City are not gonna be like perfect.
I think, did Madison make the squad? He should be on the squad.
Yeah, he is. He is in the squad.
Yeah, so I think maybe 1, because that would be criminal. England would be stupid not to have Madison.
Mari, he picked Maguire and Phillips. He didn't pick Ben White. He didn't pick.
Wait, Al Phillips?
Yeah,
no,
pick Calvin Phillips, who's played 3 games in the whole year. Harry Maguire.
It's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't pick. Who else didn't he pick? He didn't pick James Ward-Prowse. He didn't pick Ben White. Who else? I was really surprised he picked Eddie.
He did pick Eddie. Okay.
Eddie Nketiah, which for me, it's I was really surprised. But
you're a fan of Eddie.
I'm
not
a
huge fan of Eddie.
No, here's the difference. I am a fan, Ash, of his mentality. His mentality.
Okay, fair enough.
He was never rated. If you read his story.
No, I know.
Yeah, he was never rated in the academy. Everybody said he wasn't gonna make it. Then when he came into the first team, people like league judges called him League One Eddie. He fought through all of that. TJ kept calling him crap. The stuff like every Arsenal fan always said he's not gonna. To me. Yeah, well, and in my opinion, I mean, he's gonna get better. He's 22. He's 23. Every year when he comes back, Ash, he's better. He's bulkier. He's bigger. He's faster on the ball. He's better at he's better at everything. And every year he improves. So that's why I love his mentality. Every team needs a player like Eddie Nketiah in terms of the mentality. It helps. If you look at all the successful squads, Liverpool had Milner, who wasn't the flashiest player, but had an incredible work ethic. We need him. I told TJ this. Give it 2 years. Either he's going to win the actual starting job for Arsenal, or we're going to sell him for 45, 50 million. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Talking about sales, I'm about to go on a rant because the window closes tomorrow.
I'm just going to sit back for this.
I'm trying to avoid it.
Explode. Our fan base, man, they're not honest. They're not honest. And I say this. When you big up the Brightons and the Brentfords, right? You saw who Brentford just signed today. What's his name? Yeah, we're going after Brendan Johnson. You got Forrest. Like, those guys, they're doing it the right way. And what gets me so mad is when you mention that, right? They're scouting how the incomings and outgoings. When you mention that, there are people who go up in arms and they defend Levy to the maximum. And I'm like, why? It's simple. Daniel Levy is not a football guy. He has never kicked a football. He has never scouted. Rebecca Kipplehorn, his accountant who worked for QPR, she's in charge of outgoings. She has the same philosophy of Levy. No, we're not going to lose our players for a cut rate. He wants to get the full value. Who's going to pay full value for Tanguy? Who's going to pay full value for Sanchez? Who's going to pay full value for our Deadwood? We have one phone call from the Middle East from one of our players. It's ridiculous. The thing is, we need incomings, right? Ange, once again, he says, and like I said, I'm Ange, and I like him. When they sold King, so we knew this. We knew it was coming, that we were going to sell him. But yet, we have not signed a forward. We have not signed forward since Solomon. That was before the Kane deal. We can. There's some that out there. There's Jimenez for Fedor, the Mexican national. He's out there, right? He's better than Richarlison, right? Right? There's David in the French league, right? Oh, well, I don't rate him. Well, you know what? He's better than Richarlison. Like, come on.
Balogun. Balogun
Balogun.
better than Richarlison.
Balogun. If you believe Arsenal's going to, I mean, it's just, and then the thing is with center back, it was our number one priority. Yes, BDV is working out good. Someone's in the mud, Stephen. BDV has started out good.
3 games, man.
Right? Yep. Small sample size. I get it, but it's very impressive for a person who's never played in the Premier League. And Tapsoba is balling, right? Tapsoba should be signed too, or at least another center back should be coming in, because we're just one injury away from having those jokers who lost to Fulham playing again. Eric Dyer, because I don't believe he's going to go, and Sanchez. Like, our transfer market is so distorted. It's just ridiculous. And this is how they always do it. They start off hot. Yeah, we saw Madison, which, once again, was running out his contract, right? His team just got sent down to the Championship League, right? You look at the type of signings that we make, right? Like, even Basuma, who I love, right? 1 year left his contract. It's never, like, I'm watching West Ham sign Kudus, right? Quality signing for a lesser price than we're paying for Brendan Johnson. I'm looking at Aston Villa signing the guy from the German league. What's his name?
Diaby. But he was 60 million. So he's not cheaper than Brendan Johnson.
But even then, the club that signed Aston Villa, right? Come on. Like, I've been saying this for years. We are not a poor club. We have money, but we just like nickel and diming. Always, it's just, and then the outgoings, right? I'm done with the incomings. The outgoings, it is horrible. We got people who need to go, right? Harry Kane has left. All right. It's the end of an era. The Dyers of the world, the Sanchez's of the world, like, we are so bloated, right? We went down from 39 to 36. But then again, all these players who may go, they're on loans. They're coming back. Meaning that a year later, we're going to have the same problem. And now here we have a homegrown problem that's going on. It's the reason why we're going for Brendan Johnson. Like, it is, like, it's horrible the way our football team is run. Oh, Mario, like, no, I'm not talking about on the field with Ange and what he's doing. I'm talking about the board and Daniel Levy and the people he put in place. They're not football people. They're not. It's so frustrating. And so that's why I expect nothing. People are like, oh, who do you think we're gonna sign? I said, I have no expectations, because I'm not going to be disappointed tomorrow. I'm gonna throw it off to Ash, but I'm not going to be disappointed tomorrow. I have absolutely no expectation because I see incompetence. So what should I expect something when I don't believe at the powers at B, and it's frustrating. So I'm used to it. And like CQB, we're all loan FC. Those loans do us no good. We need to cut bait, take hits, tear up some contracts. Hugo Lloris is still on this team as we speak. Hugo Lloris, and he is a definite, like, he's done with the club. We're done with him, and he's still on the club. Still on the club. It's wow. But I'm gonna go to Ash because I don't know if he's feeling the same, but it's wild. I have no expectations. Absolutely no expectations.
And that's the best way to be. When you don't have expectations and you know yourself, you live a lot happier.
Yeah.
You're a lot happier. You are. I'm telling you. Forget all of those cup runs, top, whatever. Just say to yourself, you know what? It is what it is. Let's just look forward to a game, take a game as it comes, and leave it at that. Because the transfer window is the whole reason why I was at the protest before. Because we always do it. We wait, and we try to like get all these wages down. I feel like we don't want to pay because it's just an extra month, like that. Like if we have to pay, if we buy a player in June, we have to pay June, July, August. He's like, bro, you know what?
True.
Let me do a deadline special. And you know what? We haven't had a baller like Van der Vaart. Like we haven't had like a massive like a superstar come in since Van der Vaart. We haven't. Like people will say Bentancur, people will say but more time, all the players we bring in, like no one didn't really know about Bentancur or really want Bentancur or Kulusevski for that matter. It was underwhelming when we did get him, even though they worked out.
Yeah.
And then after Van der Vaart, I'm struggling because there's no real signings where the whole fan base are waiting outside, Spurs away and like, oh, I can't believe my man's coming. Where? We had that for ages. Every time, every window, you're underwhelmed. And it's the same thing here. There's a couple players, some people might be like, Brendan Johnson, yeah, he looks all right. If Ange wants him, I think he'll be all right because Ange just got a good talent ID. But more time we are underwhelmed by what comes in. I think Fati was the first time where fans were kind of united. Like, oh my days, we might get something. Fati, 99% through the door. He's jumping on the plane. It's to Brighton. Okay.
Yeah.
I was streaming. I was like, oh, look at your Fati.
Guys, but with Ansu Fati again, like people are like, oh my god, we didn't get Ansu Fati. The last 2 years has not been good, guys. He's super injury prone too. I don't know if I think Spurs fans overhyped him in their heads.
I hear it, bro. The point I'm making is we haven't had a star, like a player that's certified where majority of fans are like, yes, we're getting someone of quality. You just saw Kane, the most highly I wouldn't say decorated, but our talisman, our number one striker, England's face, the Mr. Tottenham. You sold him, so you expect that if we're gonna sell a player of that ilk, they would have planned, someone else coming in that has some type of quality or that can get the fans excited. You see what I'm trying to say? Like when you lose a big star, you think, all right, cool. It might not be like for like. But you're gonna like, all right, cool. Let's appease the fans. We've lost a big star. Let's maybe rebuild or build and use some of that money to get some quality in. And I think that's why a lot of fans are underwhelmed by like a Brendan Johnson. Not saying like Brendan Johnson's the worst player in the world. He might actually suit our system. But what I mean is you can't rip out Kane and then look, we've got 24 hours left. 24 hours left. And we're still none the wiser. And who's coming in? Do you see what I'm trying to say? Or of quality. So we might as well have not sold Kane. We might have what was the point of that 100 million? What was the point? Do you know what I mean? And I know these things take time. I get it. It don't happen overnight. I hear you, my brother. I hear you, my G. But I'm just saying, raw. Like the fans, they need something. The young kids that come to the stadium, they want to be just like Kane. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why they support the club. They probably got Kane on the back of their shirt still. Do you know what I mean? It's heartbreaking. They're probably still selling Kane shirts right now as we speak. Well, it's happened to us. Sorry, one more thing.
Yeah. Go. Sorry.
No, go.
I'll let you jump in. But it's time after time after time it happens to us. I remember, like my brother just said, Chelsea, Willian. Oh my days.
Oh my goodness.
My man was on the scales. You know, like on the scales, like a weigh-in. I was doing the like, he's in the building. Willian is in the building. Game changer. I don't care what anyone says. Willian's in the building. Wait. Okay, right. Medical done. No? All right. Started cutting out. What? Medical?
Well, Jose called
He's going Chelsea. Oh my.
Jose called a tax.
But Ash,
and he had it to
but for the Willian thing, that wasn't your fault, man. That was so unprofessional from Willian. That's on Willian here. He just decided to leave. I'm sorry, like that's not on Spurs here.
We
the guy is in the middle of a medical.
Because you know Daniel Levy always because Willian's not the only one where we took so long. Even Lewis for Liverpool, Diaz, right? We took so long and gave Liverpool the chance to say, hey, you know what? Wait a minute. Hold on. You're about to say, nah, buddy. You signed with us. Like no. It's happened time and time again. Willian was just the worst because we had Willian in the building. We had this dude like, all right,
no.
We got to take your heartbeat. And it was just like, wait, there's a cab outside for you. Wait, hold up. Oh, wait, don't leave. Wait, where you going? Where you going? And left.
No, but I get. Look, I'm gonna actually
Napoli and locked. Yo, Osman said they locked him in his hotel room. Napoli locked him in his hotel room. We should lock.
Yeah.
You're not leaving. You're not leaving.
No, but look. You guys, I think I can't believe this. I'm gonna defend Spurs a little bit. The Luis Diaz deal, the deals that you guys listed, the Luis Diaz deal was basically he always wanted to go to Liverpool. Liverpool were just waiting because they knew Levy was a good deal maker. They were always gonna pay the money. They were just waiting for you guys to agree with Porto. Once you agree with Porto, his agent told him the actual terms. They matched it.
Deal done with nickel and dime, and then the next day they got new owners, and the new owner said, Arsenal like, you know what? We're not selling Grealish anymore. What? And then we look.
Yeah, yes, that you see, that is a good example. The Grealish deal, Dybala, those are good examples.
Horrible.
Yeah, those are good examples.
We had Grealish like this, and it was
Dybala,
just like
Dybala. I remember Dybala was here we go. Everybody was saying it was done.
We had
fans panicking, messaging me. Man United fans, Liverpool fans, they were nervous.
I was like, "What? Spurs are signing Dybala?" I was like,
I was like,
right.
I was like, I forgive you, Daniel Levy. You just want to pay that again.
You see there, you can use like a stick to beat it because when he needs to, kind of, because sometimes TJ also knows this in like, especially in like the NFL, in the American sports, sometimes you just have to overpay. Give him the biggest contract because he's a key piece on your team, and it's the same. And it's the same with transfer. If you know this player is perfect for you, like we did with Declan Rice, we're gonna pay it. We're gonna pay what we need because he's our guy, and that is what I think Spurs. I think sometimes they're unfairly criticized for some. Like I think Spurs is kind of expectation of transfers. Like for example, Bastoni. I thought that was just super unrealistic. Like especially great Italian players that play at big Italian teams rarely ever leave Italy. So I thought the expectation that Bastoni was going to come to Spurs, I thought was a bit harsh. But I remember like Spurs fans like, why didn't we sign Bastoni? Why didn't we go like?
I wasn't
like yeah, like
I agree.
We overpaid, but we paid what was needed to get him.
We paid the market. We paid the market value. That's the end. That's the beginning and the end of that conversation.
Yeah.
We bought somebody's legend. It was going to cost us money.
No, we bought somebody that if you looked at the value of money, he's going to play for Arsenal for the next at least 5 to 6 years. If you look at
Future
it, that's
captain.
about 15 to 20 million that we just paid a year. It's Havertz. Okay, I mean, let's see.
We'll just in the back sniping. That's just what we'll do.
I mean, it's okay. It's typical, you know. He never questions Spurs players, you know, some of the signings that they do. But yeah, but it's okay. It's normal.
But he has played to the level of what we are paying him and what we are paying for him. Declan Rice is looking great. Yeah, I think so.
He is looking great, but has he played to the level that you would expect of £100 million signing?
I mean, what do you expect? He's solid.
I expect
he has to put a foot wrong.
For £100 million signing, I expect him to be the next Patrick Vieira. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, that's a lot. Patrick Vieira is
not in the first 3 games, but in the next year or two, I expect him to have a similar impact. And I love Declan Rice. I was like, I couldn't believe that we were linked with. I like him as a player, but last summer we were linked with Yuri Tillemans, and then we signed Declan Rice the next. That just show you the level of how we kind of leveraged our position and the tier of player that we can actually attract. But for me, in terms of the transfer window when it comes to Spurs, I just don't get it. I don't get how many. Like I don't get Spurs fans. I'm gonna be honest, guys. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm happy that you guys are so passive and stuff and just content with everything. But I just don't get how you can protest. Like, terms of
it's mad.
It's just like he goes like right now. How can you be linked? If Arsenal were linked to Lloyd Kelly, there would be riots outside the stadium. There would be riots. Like, fans would be like, what is going on? But we also have a similar experience to you guys.
Our fan base gets excited about that. Like, oh, okay, we got Lord Kelly. Okay, it's gonna be. And it's just like you have to be honest with yourself. Like, for example, Ash, right? Like, and mind you, I've already seen Lord Kelly a few times. The most, we just play them, and I'm looking at my research. I'm like, okay, well, maybe he's better than Dyer whatsoever, but I'm just like, hold up. We needed a minimum of 2 center backs. Why? Wait, why are we going to end up with VDV? Okay, Lloyd Kelly? Ash, do you rate Lloyd Kelly? Be honest.
No. Like, I thought Kelly was a fullback. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't think he was a centre back. I honestly thought he was a fullback. I didn't even know.
He's from what I've read, he's like a hybrid. He plays mostly in a 3. He's the left-sided defender in a 3, but he can also play left back.
To be fair,
he's quick.
When I have seen him on the ball, dribbling, he can do that. Left foot, yeah, I've seen that. But apart from that, and he can strike the ball. Apart from that, defending wise, it's mind-boggling. I don't understand how or where it came from. Clearly, the scouting have seen something that we haven't as a fan base, and I just feel like there's levels, because if the club are trying to get back into the top 4, or we are a top 6 club, which I think we are, or we think we are a top 6 club, then why are we going for? Like, I thought we were going to go to the Asian market and just get some unknowns. I thought it was going to be that kind of flex. And then no one could say, oh, yeah, it's not good enough, or I mean, not good enough. It's like no one can say anything because nobody knows about those players, whatnot. But yeah, it's mad. Like, even down to that Beyonce thing. That's what I was gonna say before I kind of went off on one. I was gonna say we were promised as fans, like, the stadium was a game changer.
Yeah.
And therefore, I was thinking, all right, cool. Let me wait, be patient. And, when the stadium comes, we're going to have an influx of money, and then we're going to compete with the so-called top 6, top 4 teams. And we're going to have that purchasing power and get all these bigger players, because we're going to be able to pay the wages. Because for a long time, we couldn't really match the wages of the bigger clubs. Do you know what I'm saying? The clubs that are in the top 2 or 3 or top 4. So then I thought, yeah, more seats, more stadiums. We're going to finance these bigger moves, and that's going to be a game changer. Then, obviously, the whole NFL, and then the Beyonce, or the concerts, the boxing. Oh yeah, we're going to get more money from that. It's like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on. Well, it should be shame on you, but like, we're still falling for it. Oh, we're the richest club. Look how much profit we make. That's what the fans are saying. Look, we're not. Go on.
Yeah, but Ash, like, I think this hasn't got enough traction. I don't know if you guys read. Matt Law released an article yesterday. Super, probably one of the most reliable, if not the most reliable, when it comes to London clubs, Chelsea, Spurs, stuff like that. He released an article in which when Harry Kane's transfer went through, when they had agreed the deal, I don't know if you read about this. He was sent an email. He wanted to take his belongings from the training ground, the Spurs, the greatest training ground that's ever been built. He wanted to go take his belongings, and they refused him entry into the training ground to say goodbye to his teammates and to everybody.
Shameful.
And they refused him access to his stadium suite, even.
No longer one of us.
Like that just shows you Daniel Levy and the level of pettiness, and just that is, for me, in my opinion, your greatest ever player, because of the goals he scored, because of everything. Easily your greatest player in the Premier League era. It's not even close. And you treat him like this because he gave you 105 million. Like, he didn't leave. Like, if he had left on a free and ditched you guys,
it'd be different.
He gave you 100 million on a 30-year-old on 1 year left on his contract, and he went to another league. He didn't even move to. He didn't go to Chelsea. He didn't go to Man. And you treat him like this. That should tell you what kind of one person Daniel Levy is. And you know what? If I was Harry Kane, and I saw that he couldn't even call me and tell me, listen, you can't come into the actual training ground, I'd be like, damn it, I should have waited another year just to spite this guy.
Yeah,
just to show. I should have waited and then left on a free just to say, F you, Daniel. Like, I did this on my terms. But you know what? He's a nice guy. So he didn't. But that, for me, the fact that there was no reaction to this on any sort of, I didn't read anywhere in terms of Twitter, there was no bad I was shocked. Like, if I had read this, or if Man United or anyway, and you read one of their legends is disrespected in that manner, like, there would be an absolute. How is that? Matt Law is not clickbait. C-Cubed. It's not clickbait.
You know what's funny? Just to add to that. You see, like, the All or Nothing documentary. Pochettino got the same treatment. He didn't even get to say goodbye. He had to write on the piece of board, "See you later, guys."
No, forget it. Even look at it from a bigger perspective, Ash. In that documentary, they ignored Pochettino. It was as if Pochettino didn't exist.
I wanted to see Pochettino. I wanted to see it. I thought this I was angry at that.
It was the guy who allowed you, who put you in the position to actually hire a coach like Mourinho. You gave him one episode, like not even one episode, like 15 minutes of him talking, and that was it. And then you skipped over why you fired him. Oh, it was over. Oh, it was my heart was telling me one thing and my brain was telling me another. Yeah, okay, yeah. I cannot believe that actual Spurs fans. CQ, go read the article. There's no partial quotes. He got refused entry. He got sent an email. He didn't even get called up. He got refused entry. His card wouldn't work if he went to go to, like, it's disgraceful. But forget that. So for me, it just shows, and I can't believe Spurs fans who always say about, but we're all about glory, we're all about tradition. When you see things like this, on another perspective, I'm going to continue the rant. You have no statues around your football stadium. You have no statues of your great players, of Jimmy Greaves, of even Gareth Bale or any of your recent great players. How can you have any sort of football heritage or celebrate trophies or aim to win trophies when you don't celebrate anything? Look at Arsenal. Look at the way we've changed. Look at Man United. Look at even Man City.
most of the fan base agrees with you, and they're supposedly the trust between the trust and this new fan advisory board. They're working on it, which I don't know why it has to get to the point of working on it. It should be automatic, but they got the gates. And someone correct me if I'm wrong. They have the gates. Um, they're gonna bring back the gates
The clock as
to
well. Yeah.
to the stadium. So I guess
Yeah.
that's one start. But this should have been a long time ago. And you're
It just
100%.
shows you their
It
intent, their
just shows
ambition
how out
behind
of
it.
touch. It
They
just
are.
shows how out of touch
Super.
your ownership is, and they
It's so
and
out
I
of
said this
touch.
yesterday, and I said this yesterday, and I'm gonna say it again: is that I've never seen an ownership like completely disrespect a fan base like Tottenham does to their fan base. He thinks like Levy, and you
Man
guys like
United?
think you guys
Man
are
United?
idiots.
Yeah,
Not really, because Man United win things, you know.
that's true.
I mean, you could throw the Glazers under the bus. Like right now, right now, Man United are a tire fire, but they aren't always like that. This is more the exception to the rule in terms of Man United right now. But Tottenham, I mean, and the fact that the fan base just takes, to quote my boy Minerals, you just take his Happy Meals and move on. Not you guys, not this channel,
Yeah.
but everybody else does.
No,
I mean, and they're not serious about winning. Like we've seen that time and time again. Not serious about a rebuild.
Our fans move with fear. That's why. Like real talk. Like when it comes to online, Twitter, like we're forced to reckon with. But in real life, you see, in real life, when I went out there and I was protesting, people just looking at you like, what was going on? Like the fans are just, it's mad. They look at you, they're just looking at you like, right, these people are mad. Like they're on megaphones and like, what are they doing? It was only like a few of us.
Yeah.
They're walking past like we're Fort Park, like we're a museum or something, and looking at us like we're wildlife. It's crazy. Like, come and join us or ask questions. Or it had apparently it's gotten better, but it's still not. Of course, it's still not like people like I've had enough, and because you got to put pressure on the board, otherwise they're gonna just run away with this money. Like, don't run away with the 100 mil, but they're not gonna be serious in the window, if that makes sense. They're not really gonna pull their finger out. They're just gonna be like, yeah, you know what, we did what.
No, but you have a perfect precedent. The first moment when Levy was worried, he fired Nuno and paid big for Conte. That should tell you that maybe sometimes discontent actually works. And I've told this to TJ and Meyer before, Ash. I don't know if you get the reference. It's a college football reference. The biggest rivalry, the Real Madrid-Barcelona game in college football, is Ohio State versus Michigan. Right. For 20 years, Ohio State dominated Michigan. They won pretty much like 15 games or 14 games in a row. And Ohio State were the big power, and Michigan, the same way like Spurs. So like when Spurs fans, I've noticed this when people say, why don't you protest like Arsenal fans or Man United fans or Chelsea or even Liverpool fans, even Liverpool fans who've won stuff and have been successful, they don't like their ownership, which to me is, I don't get it. But forget that. When Spurs fans say, oh, we're not like those clubs, we don't want to be like Arsenal. That's I get that same vibe when Michigan kept losing to Ohio State. They were like, oh, we're losing to them, but we're a better school than Ohio State. We've better
education.
Yeah, we've got a better education. Like we're talking college football here. We're not talking who's got a better medical program, right? But that's what they would do to cope. And I see this type of copium from Spurs fans where they try and act condescending towards clubs that are more successful than them and stuff, and try and act like, oh, but we're better than them. Or they have the other argument, which to me is ridiculous, which is, oh, but we almost went bankrupt in the 90s. It was really chaotic and we almost got relegated. So what does that mean? So you're going to go 20 years now without a trophy, and that's okay for you because you have some sort of financial stability?
I will say this, and then we got to go to the preview of the weekend games to end off. But I will say this: our fan base it's a weird fan base because I call there's three different sections. You have the everymans, right? The moderates, and those are the ones. You have the ones that just like we know, like, yo, this board and Levy has to go, and then you have the elites, and their leads, they're just like they're content of a good time at the stadium, right? Now they will get upset to a point because I think a lot of people were upset about Tuesday. They will get upset to the point of, oh, we got eliminated. Hey, what Ange is doing. But the problem is, the very next day, if we sign Brendan Johnson, oh, nothing to see here. Everything's all good, right? It's like putting a kind of ceramic glue over the cracks, right? And they accept that. They accept everything that comes out the club. Like, no, it's not
even glue.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's good. And so that horrible season that we just had last season, right? Right? What was the perfect cure to have everybody forget about it? You bring a charismatic coach, right? That everybody will fall in love with, right? I fall in love with. And like I said, we still support him. He knows his football, he plays attacking football, right? And the club is just like, boom, we're good, right? Because we got this. Because this club loves diversion. That's to say it's PRFC, diversion. At the same time, right? And they'll even get Madison along with the coach. Boom, boom, right? You can't be upset with us because we got Madison and we got the coach. But at the same time, people are forgetting what was our number one need coming into the season.
Defense.
That Conte asks, that Nuno asks, Jose asks, right? He wanted skinnier, we gave him Joe Rodon. Was center backs. And we didn't need one center back, we needed two. It took 6 weeks to finally get VDB to come in, right? Then the same club that says, we know we're going to sell Harry Kane, right? I had an ITK coming from Manchester United. So that told me, I knew that Harry Kane was not going to stay. The club knew. But yet we're going, like Ash says, 24 hours, still trying to find a replacement or another forward that's competent because we're thin, right? If Sonny gets injured, we're screwed.
There's more, and there's more. Hold on. Kelly, has 12 months left on his contract. End the stream. End it. It's done.
Yeah.
No, but it's smart.
What are we here for? Huh?
Yeah. And so all this is a diversion. This club knows how to sway the people to forget that we have problems, right? Oh, we're going to get a director of football, right? You said that we didn't hire a director of football. Well, you know what? Our new coach doesn't work with a director of football. Okay, we got Scott Mann. Scott Mann, what has he done? He was supposed to start July 1st. Then backed up to August 1st. Now it's going to be September 1st. What he has done. You look at the structure of the club. I don't think there's another Premier League club that has more dead weight than us to have to get rid of. Like it is. You can find a smaller club, right, in the championship, but they run better the way the Spurs are.
Arsenal have just as much deadwood.
No, we don't.
Tottenham is bloated. No, I don't think you guys.
Well, we're not as bad as Tottenham, but we're low in FC too, though.
Bloated squad, and the thing is, you just got rid of them. We have those who are coming back. They're on loan.
They might stay. Deep that. Ndombele is not certain to go. And he scores
exactly.
He has 200 pages, and Inter Milan, they're arguing. Apparently, Inzaghi and the chairman are arguing about the bringing in Ndombele. So that's not even, you know what I'm saying? He's already kicking up fast. I'm only going to a Champions League team. Oh, it's a madness. You can't get rid of it.
And get paid along with Dyer and all these jokers. So man, I could go on and on and on.
Mark, I think you're giving them too much credit. They're not PRFC. Whoever does their PR, Spurs, is absolutely awful at their job.
Our club When they do promotions, they don't know how to read the room,
Exactly.
but they spray everybody. But they spray everybody.
If you just look at, they always have with if we're talking transfers, right? I've noticed this with Spurs. It's only Spurs. I don't get why they keep doing it, as if people don't have like they think they have short-term memory loss. If they're interested in a player, let's say Ansu Fati, for example, 99% done, right? They leak it in the media on purpose because they're confident it's going to get done. When it doesn't get done, what does the PR do? Always for a player that Spurs failed to get. Oh, we were never interested in him. Or it's like I as an Arsenal fan.
Everybody does that. We did that with Caicedo, to be fair.
With Caicedo, we said we were interested in him, but that does not end our interest in Declan Rice. We just said we don't want to pay the amount of money they wanted, which was.
I'm just saying it's not just a Spurs thing.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
I'm not saying it's just Spurs. We also do it, but Spurs always try and do it after they have failed massively with a player. Yeah. So let's say, for example, I can think of now the Ansu Fati deal. I can think of numerous other deals where they have screwed up. Huh? Trossard, where you bid 12 million. Wait, David Raya. David Raya is another one where you said you were interested in him, but 40 million was too much money, and your scouting team chose to go for Vicario, which was not true. You just didn't want to pay the 40 million, and Vicario was less than half the price. Vicario looks good right now, but this is what I mean. And Spurs fans continually bite on this PR, and then we're not even talking about just the normal communication. The fact that there wasn't protest after the Spurs board released their official answers to the questions that the Supporters Trust wrote. I don't know if you read the answers, because I did, because it was all over the press. The way they spoke to the fans in that press release was a disgrace, like almost as if like you should be thanking us, like in that type of way, like in a super like as as like
we went in on that.
We gotta move.
We gotta move on. We gotta move on. But with Johnson, I will just say this: I find it funny. Ali Gold said, "This is the number one target." I don't know if you saw it. This is a guy we've always been interested in. I said, "Okay, why is it now after 3 games with 24, 48, 72 hours left? We're going after Johnson. Why were we
put a bid
in July?
Have we put a bid in?
No.
No, we haven't even put a bid in.
It just said today, the news that I read, the most recent ones, was that it's gonna go down to the wire. Like, and it may not happen. That's I think that was Miguel Delaney, who's being that's true also. Arsenal fans overreact. That's true.
Yeah. So we got some games coming up. Man U, Arsenal, Spurs, Burnley. I think the game of the weekend is Man U, Arsenal. So we'll go with it first. So since we are the opponents, we'll kind of give our views about Man U, Arsenal. I think in my opinion, that this is a game that's going to probably end in a draw. Arsenal's at home, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We always beat Man U at home.
You play better on the road than at home. No, I'm being straight up honest. You guys seem to play better on the road. I would have rather if it was at Old Trafford, I was like Arsenal's going to come in there and pillage. And do a pillage at.
We always lose at Old Trafford, Mari. Come on.
We have. I don't remember the last time we won at Old Trafford.
No,
last season. Yeah. Well, during your start, it was Man U that
2 years ago. 2 years ago, we won 1-0 during the COVID season, but that was our first win at Old Trafford since 2009, I think, or 2010. So
and literally, like, we're playing them to the day. like only it's at the Emirates. We played them on September 2nd last year at Old Trafford.
We usually beat them. And sometimes we don't just beat them. We kill them sometimes. Like we absolutely.
Here's my problem, and you know what? I'll say Arsenal will eke it out. But my only thing is, I don't think you guys have your strongest team. That's what you guys haven't looked good. And that's what I honestly, I'm not down. Well, I don't really care, but I don't think putting Partey as right back. I think it's tinkering with your guys' style of play. And I know the numbers may show that maybe you guys have had more possession and more chances. I get that, but I think that defensively, you guys could suffocate the midfield if you have Partey there. You saw what our midfield, not in the first half, but in the second half, what we did with Casemiro. We had him wheezing. Right, Ash, we had him. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I felt bad for Casemiro. I was just like, oh man,
Listen, we had him on his that B. That's what we had him like.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
like that.
He was
had
Bruno
that
Fernandes in the second
ventilator.
half. Was
We
so
had
bad.
that midfield, a ventilator, and so I think that you guys, midfield wise, it's going to be very very key, and so you know what, because I think the game is going to be close, but yeah, you guys would eke it out 2-1. I'll give it 2-1.
Wow. Okay.
Ash.
You know what? This is the best time to play Man United. Their midfield is awful. They've got no left back, and they just got their keeper he's erratic, to say the least.
Really?
What's his name?
Onana is erratic. He's erratic.
I completely agree.
You know what though? With Onana, he plays like a DM. It's mad. When he's on the ball, he's like, probably he's a boss. But you see them corners,
he's not good. Yeah, you're totally right.
He's not good, bro. He's got an error in him. So between the keeper, the fullback, and the midfield, it's just problems. Whether they click, if they were to get, I don't know, a Amrabat. Supposing they managed to sneak an Amrabat in and he started straight away, we have a different conversation, because I think Amrabat had an amazing World Cup. I think he played excellent against West Ham in that final. I think he's a top player. I think Man United missed legs ever since they sold Fred, and you know, McTominay's on his way out. I don't know. They just look like they've got no legs in that midfield. Obviously, they were in trouble. The last game they played, they literally just turned it around. They won 3-2 in the end. But, you know, they were in trouble. That midfield, it's a problem. It's a problem area for them, I think. And I think Arsenal at home, they should have enough to deal with that. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it's a perfect game for Arsenal, because they're going to want to come at you. There's going to be space in behind to exploit. And
Rashford.
Yeah. But Rashford's a danger. He's always a problem. Rashford's always a problem. Don't ever get twisted. Ten Hag wants them to be the best transition team in Europe. But they're not there yet. They're missing at least one or two players. At least two players, I feel, before they're anywhere. They haven't got a centre forward, in my opinion. They need a man that they can throw the ball at top and he can stick. They haven't got a man that can hold up the ball, in my opinion.
Ash,
so,
what are you talking about? They just paid 75 million for the Danish region.
About the game that you lot are playing. He's not ready yet.
He is. So supposedly he's gonna
be on the bench. He'll be on the bench.
He's not gonna be ready, man. He's not gonna be ready. And even if he does, even if he comes off the bench, he's not gonna be ready. He's not. He's got to acclimatize to the Premier League. There's so much question marks with Man United. Yeah, it could click. Well, I get it. You man are a bit nervous. I get it. I understand. Like, it makes sense. Like, we turned them over. I expect you lot to do the same. We're at home. And you lot are meant to be doing better than us. But I don't know, man. You guys look a bit shaky. It's a bit mad still.
Yeah, no, facts.
Definitely league. I'm trying to boost you man up, but
facts. No, that's absolute facts. And I'll just take it real quick, and it'll be quick for me. We should win 2-0. These guys are weak. I really just want to see a change in the formation. Everybody in the fan base is crying out for a change in the formation to go back to where we were last season with a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-3 or a 4-3-3, excuse me. I need to see a change in the formation to give me any sort of confidence that we're gonna move forward. And I don't want to see Havertz. Havertz needs to sit, in my opinion. And call me harsh, do whatever, that's fine. But either way, Arsenal's midfield is way better than Man United's, and we are and this game is won and lost traditionally in the midfield. So I think 2-0 to the Arsenal should be easy work, but it's United. It's United, so we'll see. Stefan?
I complete for in one of the rare occasions. I actually agree with you, TJ. I expect us. I would actually my formation would change, but I would put Tomiyasu at right back to completely nullify Rashford, because that, for me, if we nullify Rashford, we are fine. Like, if we nullify him, because let's be honest, Anthony is useless. I don't know who's going to play center forward. I'll be intrigued if he plays Martial or he plays Rashford up
I think
top.
it's going to be Martial.
But
so
knowing
Rashford on the left.
knowing Arteta, we're gonna have most of the ball. Spurs, when they played Man United, had 60% of the ball. We have, let's be honest, a better possession team than Spurs. So I'm expecting at least 65% of the ball. If Arteta expects this too, he's probably going to play Ben White and Saliba at the center back position. I would, because if they don't have a really physical number 9. So I would play Ben White because he's just better on the ball right now. And if we have 70% possession, then it's more beneficial to have Ben White there. But I would play, they have, the other reason for me why we should win is all their key players are missing. Varane is out for 6 weeks. Luke Shaw is out for until December, I read. That's why they're panicking. I hope they play Reguilon. I pray
he won't be right at a certain time, but that would be hilarious.
I hope they play right because I watched Reguilon struggle against. I watched some of the highlights against the Singaporean team. He was out of position in that game. So against Bukayo Saka, I think Bukayo Saka is going to absolutely destroy him, like he did. What was it, 2 years ago? But so I don't know. I don't think he's going to play him. I think he's going to play Dalot left back, which is still good for us. But yeah, I expect us to dominate them, to create chance after chance after chance. But it is Man United. They do have a counterattack in them. That's how they play football. If we nullify 2 players, and the way we do it is, I would play Tomiyasu right back because he's a really good defender. So I think he can easily take him. And then in the center mid, to nullify Bruno, to also nullify Bruno, we need to play Rice and Partey. If we play Rice and Partey, Bruno is not touching the ball. He's just not. Because
what's your score prediction?
Score prediction, I'm gonna go more. I think we're gonna explode this game. I think we're gonna, all of the actual chances we created, I thought we were unlucky in the first 3 games, and the number, like the score should have been more. And I think we're gonna win 3-0. I think
wow.
Yeah, I think 3-0. We're gonna win.
I like the confidence.
I got a very important call to make, so I'll do a quick.
Yeah, we gotta start wrapping this up. We're hitting almost 2 hours here. Big up, everybody. Let's do let's talk Spurs Burnley real quick.
Spurs Burnley, must win. Must win.
Yeah, it is.
If we lose this game, I'm not saying people will start, because our fan base.
Yeah, they will.
I'm not saying that it's going to be at home. It's going to be at home.
Is it at home?
Yeah, it's at home. Yeah,
I thought it was away. Isn't it away?
I thought it was away. I thought it was at
Oh, is that Burnley?
Yeah, it's away, Mari. It's away. I just checked.
Yeah.
It's away. Wow. I would say that we'll be going. If we don't win this game, we'll be going into international break not on a good note, especially with the transfer market not looking good. People are barking about that. People are barking about Tuesday. So I think Burnley's gonna Vincent Company's gonna open it up. Burnley is gonna want to play football. They're not going to, play negative football. They're not going to hunker down. They're gonna, want to play. So I think that the game is gonna open up. I think it's gonna be a very open game, and I see us winning. I see us winning 3-0. Because I think the partnership between VDV and Romero has not given up a goal. We haven't given up a goal. We haven't given up a goal.
Man. No.
We have not given up a goal. Because remember, Romero was injured when Brentford scored, and Romero didn't play on Tuesday. So I have 3-0. 3-0 scoreline.
Who's gonna score, Mari? I'm intrigued. Who's gonna score?
Everybody except
Yeah. Okay.
No. I actually think Sonny's gonna score one. I think Matters will come, and I think someone from the defense, maybe Poro. So it's gonna spread. I don't see Richarlison scoring, but if he scores, hey, that would be good.
Hey, if he scores, one thing's for sure, guys. He's gonna take off his shirt, whatever happens. Whether it's offside or not.
I'm surprised he didn't do it. I'm surprised he didn't do it away at Craven Cottage.
Yeah, that's true.
I was just like, what? Oh, I didn't know he scored. He still had his shirt on.
Yeah. So I have 3-0.
Yeah, I'll keep it real quick. I say I looked at what we did against Bournemouth. I know some of the Arsenal fans were impressed by our performance, but we had 17 shots to their 11. 57% possession, not too bad. Could have been better, but it's closer to the 60% mark. They had their chances, but we had 4 big chances to their nothing. So I think against Burnley haven't been playing too well. I mean, they looked pretty decent on the ball, but they haven't got that Premiership. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Quality, it's missing. So I think when it comes to us, I think we'll take our chances. So they might have a lot of the ball, but so will we. And I think when we have the ball, I think we'll make it count. So I'm going for a 2-0. And I think, again, the goals will be spread across the pitch. So it might be a Son, or it could be a Udogie. You know what I mean? I've been really impressed by him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he got on the score sheet. But that's my prediction.
Mine for the game is, I think it's going to be, you guys really struggle at Burnley. I don't know if you've checked your last 4 visits at Burnley.
No, I know. Yeah, that's all.
3 losses. So it's not Sean Dyche Burnley, but I'm gonna go for a 1-1. I think it's gonna be a difficult game. I think Burnley are kind of getting into the groove of things. They're getting used to the Premier League, and I just think you guys give too much space to teams away from home. Even Bournemouth, who I know they didn't have any big chances, but I remember the Billing shot at the end of the first half that should have been a goal. So it's gonna be a difficult game. Either one, I'm gonna go 1-1 because I just think Burnley are gonna give you a game.
I agree with Stefan, but I think Spurs will just get it over the line. Yeah, just get it over the line. I'm saying 2-1 Tottenham, but it could very easily go the other way, though. Let's not get it twisted. Vincent Kompany is, I think he is going to be a class manager. And he, what he did at Burnley in the championship, I don't think is a fluke. So you give this guy some time, he's going to be cooking with this team. I think they stay up. to be honest. But yeah, I think Spurs will win this 2-1. But it could very easily go the other way. It'll be interesting. And you know what? I've got crap for this last time. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to get up and I'm going to watch it. So I can either take my lumps or come in as hot as I did today.
No, TJ, just get up and watch, because Will is already putting in the comments that we're insane, just like they were talking about after we drew with Fulham. And and they never learn. They never learn. Now they're gonna be. They're saying
football is a funny game. Will, football is a funny game.
We got disclaimer. We did not know we were gonna have nice substitutions.
Well, what's the lineup?
Let's say it's not our starting 11.
I heard a lot of chess. I heard a lot of chess going into that Fulham game from Spurs fans. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of chess.
The day before, we're going to win this game by benching everybody. I mean, come on. Of course we'll be confident, man. I mean, 9 changes.
It just
final. Man City and 9 changes. I'm like, okay, now we should still win this game, right? Right? Man City, 9 changes. But this is Spurs here. 9 changes? Have you seen the B squad has failed Poch, it's failed Conte, it's failed Jose? I mean, our B team is wow. Thank you, Will. Our B team had a better outing than your A team. Where is this chest coming from?
You guys bombed out of the
better outing. How did you have
bombed out of the Carabao Cup? You can make up all the excuses that you guys want, but we drew at home and you guys bombed out of the Carabao.
And there. That is Michael from Poland, Michal. That is Stel's argument that if we had Bissouma and Van and Romero playing, we would have destroyed them.
If it's not for candy and nuts, did that happen? No. Yeah, so why are we speculating? You guys
self-sabotage.
Yeah, it's literally you guys are singing yourselves to sleep, and that's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. You guys a lot of denial. That's all it is.
It's great for us because then we actually laugh at them. You know?
Yeah,
it's fine. Why, Ange? Why? Why did you do this? Why?
Yeah, Ange, the second coming.
Oh my goodness!
Champagne football.
I know why you guys had chest, but I'm still gonna banner you guys because hashtag I'm rent free in everybody's head, and be like, come on, you guys lost.
We expected a stronger team, and what we got was the B dud squad.
Yeah, no, and I'm not. And guys, and this is the last thing I'm going to say. Big up, everybody. I appreciate it. But literally what I had to listen to for 3 months.
Yeah.
And then that happened because your rock and roll manager decided that he had a good enough B team to beat Fulham away.
He makes 9 changes. Who does that? Who does that? Not even Pep does that. Like, who did he think he was playing? St. Mirren or Kilmarnock? Like
he thought he was back. Yeah, he thought he was back in the Scottish League for sure.
Like it's just and guys, just last thing before we go, I'm gonna tell you this, right? I watched Skip playing that game. I'm telling you, I'm from Bulgaria originally. He wouldn't make half of the teams. I don't even think he would make most of the team. He wouldn't make their first 11. I'm telling you right now. He is. I cannot believe he plays for Spurs. If this guy's name was Skipinho, he would be in Uzbekistan now. He is absolutely. I honestly, I think he is the worst Spurs player I've ever watched. Like, and that's. Guys,
you're not worse than win, but
he is so. I can't believe you're willing to sell Højbjerg and keep this guy. I just. Højbjerg isn't very good.
Højbjerg will get us money. Skip would be Højbjerg could get us maybe 25 mil. Skip won't get us that price.
It's just it's just sad to see that a midfield that you used to have of Dembele, Modric, and Skip, this guy is like, I'm gonna say it. I know this is controversial. Winks was better than Skip, guys. Winks was a far better player than Skip.
At Skip, Wick's highest was the famous Champions League game. I would say, yeah, but they're both shit and shit. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, but
I mean,
no comment.
Well, on that note, enjoy the games this weekend. Don't get stressed out tomorrow. No expectations tomorrow in the transfer window. We'll be back next week to recap this weekend's games and kind of look at the outlook going into the international window. Almost like a piece of a quarter look of the first 4 games. On that note, I'm going to say, come on, you Spurs, and definitely leave me out. I'm doing Brian Daigle. Leave me out.
Come on, you Gunners. Let's go.
Come on, you Spurs, and in Ten Hag, we trust. Let's go.
Come on. Yeah.